All right, on these Wildcat XX ball joints, spherical joints, whatever they want to call these things, when they're this bad, they're time to go. So basically, take this nice tool here from 775 Fabrication. Really sweet job machining these things. Very precise. Basically, small clip in here, you take the clip out. I'll do that now. This little clip here. Paper thin, don't bend it. If you try to find one, it'll take you weeks to find one. So, don't bend it. So once that's out, what this tool does is this side here goes over top of the ball joint and it fits perfectly. Well, let me show you this way. It fits perfectly around that piece and over the ball. Does not touch the ball. There's still movement. And what this does is this piece here is precision made to fit just on this sleeve only. So you're pushing on just the sleeve, not the actual ball joint itself, the ball itself. Really good design. Now you can use a through bolt with nuts on each side if you don't have a ball joint press. I have one of these. Standard automotive ball joint press. And since I'm by myself, and the camera's being held up by string probably, once that little clip is out of there, I just have to set it up. I have a lift here, so it makes it easier for me, but you can raise the bike up or down. And set this thing up to where this goes over top of this side. And it does come out the side where the clip is, of course. This is the receiver. That goes over that. And that allows the joint itself to come through. So you put that bad boy there. Nice plate they give you. You put it here. And you just tighten up the C-clamp and hope nothing falls to pieces while you're trying to do this. Yeah, once again, I'm by myself, so you know how that goes. Life of a lonely mechanic, you know how that goes. It's only been 40 years, what the hell. So anyway, once that's set up, I guess you can see that okay. Try to adjust this without losing the whole rig here. All right, once that's set up like that, make sure it's good and snug. And that thing should, you can use a hand wrench or you can use the air gun. And bump it. And it pops that thing right out with no effort at all. Thanks to that great tool from 775 Fabrication. Because I was using a socket. And I was tearing things up. See, that tool fits right in there perfectly, no problem at all. Nice. Now to put the new one back in, this old bad boy's, that thing's gone. So, got the new one. These things aren't really the greatest little things. I mean, they serve their purpose, but they definitely could have gone, I mean, I like the whole idea with the double shear and everything, but they definitely could have gone a little bit larger on this, in my opinion. Larger ball, wider, they have plenty of room. There's plenty of room on the knuckle. Not a whole lot of Teflon inside here. So not one of the highest quality pieces I've seen, sadly. But, you know, every manufacturer out there has somewhere they got to cut corners to make money. Not like they're not making money on these things, but Basically, that's all it is, though. It just kind of allows it to turn and the arms to pivot. So, but again, not a whole lot of strength in that. It lasts a long time if you're riding on, you know, roads, dirt, gravel roads, fire roads, flat, hard packed desert, things like that. But you start doing rock crawling or put these things in water or mud, and these little $10 boots that go over the end don't really seal up that well. Water and stuff gets in there, so they help, but they're not the greatest either. But that being said, some guys run the boots, some guys don't. If this were a high quality Heim style joint, then you probably wouldn't need a boot at all, because most of those are self-lubricating, and this one here, it probably is, but again, there's not a whole lot of stuff in this thing. I've tried with boots, without boots. I've tried putting this on and squirting, picking a needle and putting grease up inside the boot. I've tried everything. They all wear the same rate. So if I have the boots, I put them on. I try to save the old ones. That's one thing I didn't show, was to get the boot out. The boot is just pressed in this little lip right here. Okay, and it just sits, there's your boot like that. And you carefully, and I mean carefully, take a pick and go underneath the edge right here and pop this thing open gently, because you will pop a hole in this boot and then your $10 boot is now junk. So you pop that little boot off, try to save them. I saved all my old 4 here, so we're going to see what happens. I have replacements just in case. But pretty much just make sure this thing is clean. That thing just came out. It's not bad. I've already cleaned it, flushed it out with brake clean and stuff. So let's make sure this thing is clean. There's no burrs in there or anything. And take your new little thing here, little hen's tooth, because sometimes these things are hard to find. When you find them, you better buy 4 and put them on a shelf somewhere. So you set that thing in there best you can. I mean, you can tap it in or to get it set or something if you want. But turn this thing around and just go totally opposite of what you did before. This receiver allows it to come through. I gotta go further on that. Tricky part when you're by yourself. Getting it all to line up. Pretty much that's what it does. That's that. And take your air gun and just bump it lightly, putting it back in. Be good to have it going the right direction. Yep. Be really awesome to have it going the right direction, actually. Okay. Back up, regroup. try this again. And my silly old mechanic ass will try to make sure it's going the right direction this time. Oh, looky there. That's it. Make sure that little bad boy is all the way up in there. On the back side is it's a little smaller opening, and that's where the ball itself, the sleeve itself, stops at that slot on the back. So as long as you have the groove up front for your ring, oh hell yeah, so much better. Nice and snug, the way it was intended to be. That's pressed all the way in there. Take your little ring, slide it back up in the groove. If you're using boots, set the boot on there like that. Again, this tool is amazing. It fits perfectly over top of all the grooves without cutting the grooves. Really nice. And that actually, you take like that, take your hammer, tap on the end of this thing, and it gently, and that puts the seal, puts this boot. The boot actually has a little metal inside this rubber, sort of like spring loaded. And when it puts back up in there, it presses up. This actually goes inside. It goes inside the lip right here, the outside lip. Little tiny groove inside for the clip. And this big groove out here is where this thing actually presses up into. Doesn't take a whole lot. Put it on there, take this, make sure it's around the boot completely. Nothing gonna get pinched. Put it on there, tap it in, and you're good to go. Great little tool, love it. I was using sockets before, and man, I was just screwing everything up, because you gotta beat the tar out of these things sometimes. These 3 pieces, like I say, precision made, no garbage here at all. This is nice stuff. Makes great motor mounts and trans mounts too. 775 fabrication. No, I don't make any money on this. They're not paying me for this. When I find a good company and I see good products, which I buy a lot of stuff. I used to own a beep. I'll say it. I used to own a Polaris, and it was a 2012 XP900, and it went through parts like candy. I couldn't keep enough bearings and ball joints and tie rods and just name it. I couldn't keep enough parts on that darn thing. So after 7 long, hard years and expensive years, the Polaris went down the road to another owner, and I'm hoping he's happy. Did a lot of research on the XX, found out it's a damn good machine. I like the design of it. Overall, it's a damn good machine. Haters out there can hate all they want. I don't give a damn. I've been doing this stuff for a long damn time. I'm 60 years old. Been wrenching since I was 10, so professionally 40 years. Decent design. Got a few things I would have done better. But as with any machine, there's going to be some things everyone doesn't like, or something like that. On the Polaris, they had so much crazy shit on that thing, I couldn't take it no longer. I'm so glad I got rid of that thing. I've driven this machine to death. I've driven this thing for 2,000 miles in the nastiest, hardest garbage that West Virginia and Virginia and the Carolinas can throw at me. And I follow a crazy friend of mine named Willie that wears a shirt, and he says, "Don't follow me, you won't make it." And he's pretty much right for most part. But anyway, 775 fabrication for this nice tool set here. Pretty cheap. Beats the heck out of cutting this little $10 boot with a socket. Then you just lost $10 more. So believe me, this tool is worth every dime. I just ordered his motor mounts and trans mounts. They make all kinds of good stuff for this machine. They make a nice winch mount. They make, what else? They make, oh, just look them up. 775 fabrication. Good people. Tim's cool as could be. Great customer service. Quality, amazing quality welding. And just really good people out there. They really are. They're out in Nevada, and they're just darn good people. But yeah, that's it for the ball joint. We'll go from this tight one to this rattle trap up here, and we'll get that one knocked out. And yeah, it makes it so much easier, I tell you. That, and just you can buy, you know, one of these. Actually, it's a whole kit, and you can get it from Harbor Freight. Get them anywhere. Doesn't have to be perfectly strong or perfectly made, but I've had this one like 35, 40 years. So, but that helps. Or you can just put it, like I say, they got a bolt hole this side, and they got a hole going through that one. So if you want, you can set it up, you know, to where you put a long threaded rod through there, and then put a nut on each end and just crank down on one of the nuts. Make sure the rod's good and strong, and that'll press it in also. But I found, you know, Harbor Freight's got these kits for like, what, $39 or something silly. It's just so much easier. So, well, that's that. Can't wait to get back on the trails again. Got a few trips planned this year. We're gonna head out and see what kind of abuse we can do. I'm lubing up things and cleaning things. This is the great thing about the XX is you don't fix a whole lot on them. I mean, I beat the crap out of this thing, and this is only my, what, in 2,000 miles, my second set of these, and most of that's my fault from smacking trees and going through mud and water and stuff. Only one tie rod when I smacked a tree. That was my fault. Original axles, original back axles, original bushings. Bushings are tight. Look at how tight these things are. You know, great machine. I love it. Like I said, got a few little things you want to watch out for. But once you take care of those, like with any other machine, I would honestly say there's way less problems on this machine than there is on many other machines, if not all. And don't let the haters lie to you. They all have their problems. So anyway, that's a long story. But yep, one more time, 775 fabrication. Look them up, call Tim. See what they got online for your XX. And other machines too. And see what they can do for you. Doing great by me so far, so I'm pretty darn happy. All right, we're out of here.